Hi guys, and welcome to School Management System developed in Python using MySQL database. This is a very advanced tutorial and is ideal for both beginners as well. Right, now let me show you guys how this works. Okay, now we have the details of Santana Montana right here, and here we have the details of Santana Montana guidance, and here are the subjects Santana is taking according to the curriculum. Here we have to complete 7 core units, and here we have 6, so we can look for one more core unit. Let's say is data science, and where we have no, that means he has not taken those units yet, and is taking this one now. This unit is already completed. That is how the subject area is taken care of. And like I said earlier, these are the details of just the guidance, or you can just say for emergency. In case of an emergency, that's who you contact. And up here are the details of the students. Okay, and here we have our database. Okay, this database is actually linked. Everything here, between here and here, is linked straight onto MySQL database. And here we have updates. Supposing we want to update any details in here. Now let's assume we want to update the national insurance number. Let's change that to maybe 4 something. And here, okay, take a good look at that. All we just need to do is to click on update. Right, and which means we have to update the details of Santana's family as well. So there we have the details of the guidance back as well, so we just have to update that. The choice is yours if you guys want to do it like that. But in any case, I'm going to take you guys straight into Python development environment, and we'll put one of these together. So let's do that now, guys. Okay, let's exit out and start a new project. Yes, and here I'm just going to select File, New. There we go. And I'm going to start by importing as follows. The following library that I'm going to import, that is Tkinter. And inside Tkinter, I'm going to import every single component. Let's say import it all. Now, the next thing I'm going to import is going to be TTK. Import TTK. I'll be using that for the checkbox. Then the next thing, let's import the Tkinter message component. So I'm going to just copy and paste that. Import Tkinter dot message box. There we go. And finally, we want to import PyMySQL. So let's go for PyMySQL. If you don't have that, you're going to have to install that on your system. To install that, all you just need to do is install PyMySQL. There. So I believe you know how to install whatever libraries you're missing. Okay, I think that's all there is to that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like create a class, and this class I'm going to call it school. There we go. That's my class ended with a column. Now the next thing is I'm going to create my function. We'll end up entering def space, then underscore, 2 underscores. Remember that. That's number 1, and this is the second one. Then you end up by adding initialize. That is how we write it here. Then another underscore 1, 2, and in there I'm going to say self, comma, root. So the application itself is going to be called root. If you like, you can, some people call their own maybe app, some call it master. The choice is yours, but I intend to call my root there. And this very root now is going to be referred to as self.root. So make sure you get that indented. We enter a dot there. And the very first thing I want to do is let it know that your name is root. There we go. Now let's give it a title. Come right down here. It's going to be self.root.title. Now this very title is going to be School Management System. There. Close that. Now what else? Let's define a background. Now let's go for the geometry first. That will be self.root.geometry. And the geometry, we're talking about the width and the height. So enter a quote there. The width, I'm going to make that 1350 by 800 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. That is the coordinate, which means the application is going to start from there all the way down and down. Now another self.root. This time around I'm going to configure the background color, and I'm going to be using Gainsborough. So let's hit self.root.configure, and what I want it to configure is going to be the background, and that background is going to be Gainsborough. There we go. There. Okay, so before I go any further, let me just run it up here, then I can run the program. You guys see how that look like. You end up by saying if, and you enter a space, underscore underscore name. If the name is called, the name that we want to call, that will be equals, and enter the name equals, and enter the very name right inside this quote here. And the quote, before you enter the quote, you must have underscore underscore as well. Then you said main. If the name is the main name, underscore underscore, end the quote and enter column there. And the name we're talking of is root, and this very root is going to be from TK. Okay, and we now come down here, we mention the name of this very application. So we say application equals run this class called school, and this class called school has the app name called root. Then we now want root to loop. Okay, let's go run the loop and carry out whatever process you need to carry out. There we go. Let's correct this. Yeah. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm now going to save this before I continue. So let's just give it a name. So right in this directory, I'm just going to call it, let's go for School Management System. School Management System. I'm going to call it pi underscore School Management System underscore YouTube. There. So that's the one I'm developing there. Save. Okay. Now that that is saved, let's run the program together. If there's any error, we can always take care of it. There. See, I purposely did that so that you guys can see the mistake that I've made there. Something is missing, and that is supposed to be the column. So in here, enter the column. There we go. Now let's run it again. anything for this. There we go. That's it. Our system is now ready. That's the form. Alright, close that and let's start work with the frames. Now I'm going to take care of the very first frame, and this very first frame, let's call that main, the main frame. Okay, just come right down here. Okay, so the name, like I said, I'm going to call that main frame. Main frame is going to be a widget called frame. There. Why this very widget called frame is going to be resident right inside self.root. There we go. Comma. Now let me set a border for it. I'm going to make that BG, make that 10, BD is 10, and the width, I'm going to make the width approximately 1300 plus 1350, and the height, I'm going to make that maybe 700. Okay, let's make it about 750. That's fine. Then I want it, I'm going to relieve it. Let's say it's going to be rigid. There we go. Now the next thing is I'm going to kind of like round it up. Let's put it within a grid. Dot grid. There. Since it's going to be alone, I'm just going to round it up like that. Next thing, I'm going to copy this. Because if I run this now, you guys will not be able to see the frame, but the frame is right there. Let me run it and you see what I'm talking about. There we go. Look at it. You can see the edges of the frame is already emerged. Okay, so I'm going to end that. Let's see if I can even bring it up here. Alright, let's come in here and just maybe make that about 700. Now copy that. Come right down here. The next thing is I'm going to create an outer frame. This outer frame, I'm going to change that to 1340. And let's go for about maybe 600. Then we'll start taking it from there. And I'm going to make the rule of that equals 0, comma, and the column is going to be 0 as well. Right, and I'll just call it outer frame. Outer frame and outer frame here as well. There we go. Okay, outer frame is defined. Then I'm also going to have some more frames in there. Let's copy this. The other frame that I'm going to enter now, I'm going to call that, let's go for innermost frame. Okay, so that'll be innermost frame, and this as well. Change that. There. Now, you see with the outer frame, this very outer frame, I am going to make sure that it's inside main frame. Copy that and put it right here. Get rid of this. Main frame will be the parent of outer frame, and the innermost frame is going to be the child of the outer frame. Copy this and paste this right in here. Okay, with the innermost frame, I'm going to add a color, a background color, just to change it around. Or let's just type it in there. So BG equals, I'm going to make that cadet blue. just to differentiate it. Right. Okay, with the innermost, the row is 0, column is 0, and the same thing with the outer frame. So let me run it and see how those two will look like first. Then we can speed things up with the frames. Okay, there we go. Look at the frames. Okay, and this very innermost frame, we're going to have to do something with that as well. But the border, if you guys notice the border of the innermost frame, I'm going to change that to 5. I think 10 is too much. Okay, let's change it to 5. Innermost frame, make that 5. Right. And the innermost frame, we reduce this to maybe, yeah, make this about 6 as well. Okay. Right, so I may have to speed up the design of this interface. Alright, we're getting somewhere. Now close that. Take this back to 700. Okay, now the next one is going to be inner frame. So I'm going to copy this. Paste that in here. That is inner frame. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. And inner frame is a child of outer frame as well. Outer frame. Copy. Yes, right there anyway. And now we want to now change the column to 1. There. The width is going to be 700. In that case, let me change the width of this one to 600. Okay, they both have 500, and they both have this background color. So let's run that and see how that's going to look like. There we go. See, the frame is now divided. That's good. So close that. Now I'm going to add the bottom frame. As you guys can see, there's some space at the bottom, so I'm going to add those ones now. Now close that. Come right down here, copy this again. Oh, it's already copied. Come right down and just, oh, it's not copied. Undo. Let's copy this, paste it right here, and this very one I'm going to call it bottom inner frame. And the bottom inner frame is going to be resident right inside main frame. Grab the main frame and paste that right here. Now the border for that, okay, let's push it out. Let's say about 7. The width is going to be 1000 plus. And the height, let's make that about 3. Get rid of this. We don't need border for that. We don't need a back color. And what is the row is going to be row number 2, and column is 0. There. Okay, so let's change the height of this then, and let's run it and see how that's going to look like now. Run, let's see. And we just, that is it. Look at it. Look at the frame right underneath here. Okay, so it's coming up. Now, the frame is taking too long. I still need more couple of frames there. So let's speed that up. Okay, I've finished up with all of the frames. There they are. There seems to be a lot, so let me show it to you. Let's take it from the top here. Okay, let's just add something here to break it down. That's the frames. There. and the frames actually ended here. Then we can start work with the widgets. Okay, take it from the top, have a good look, bring it right down. There we go. That's the end of the frame, and there we go. Right, so I will now run it, then we'll just take it from there. Okay, run, and there we go. So that's going to be for my, I think this is too small, I'm going to have to change that. This should be for my personal details and the information on the database and so on. Okay, that's for my button, that's for guidance, and this is for subjects, so that is good. Alright, that's fine. Apart from these ones, let's change this. That's for display. Okay, that should be maybe about 4, and this one will be about 8. Right, so let's take care of some widget now. Okay, that's much better. Now right underneath here, I'm going to create my very first widget. Okay, the very first one is going to be label, so I'll call that LBL student ID, and this student ID, that's going to be a label, and this label will be inside display frame. It's a child of display frame there. And let's set the font now. Font equals, I'm going to make that area, and this area is going to be approximately 12, and let's make that bold and close that. That's for the font. So let's enter text. The text is going to just be student ID. I'll correct that. Right, and comma, let's put a border to it, make that about 7, and get it anchored. Leave out the anchor first, so let's just see how it's going to look like. There we go, and let's just place it on a row first. See how it's going to look like. If I have to add an anchor or justify it to the left, I'll do that. Dot grid, and that is going to be 0, column 0. Right, copy paste there. Now let's say I'm going to get it padded first. Let's pad it to the x-axis, make that about 5, and y-axis I'm going to make that about 5 as well. Was 5. So I'm going to save and run that. There we go, that's my label right there. So for now, that's looking a bit promising. So let's copy. I'm going to copy all of this again. Copy that and paste it right underneath here, and that is going to be for the text. So I'm going to just change that to txt, and txt student here as well. And this student is going to be on row 0, column 1. And because this one is column 0, this is column 1. And let's change the widget. The widget is going to be entering widget. Now, what else do we need to change on it? We need to change the font is fine. We're going to have to get rid of this, but we'll change that to text variable later on. And I'm going to make this about 5. Now let's add the width. I'm going to make that about maybe 29 for now. So most of what I'm doing is just for now. I might end up changing the appearance of everything. Okay, so this is fine. Get rid of these ones. I will take it from there. Run. There. That's good. Close that. Just going to copy that now. Copy and change things around. So the next one is going to be the name. Paste for name. Paste it again. This will be first name. And if this is 1, this is going to be, this is 0, so this will be 1. 1, 1. This will be 2, 2. This is 3, 3. So all I need to then do is change their details around. And here, that's fine. And this one will be first name, right? Right, and all of this will be first name. Change this to first name, and so on. Okay, I had to speed up these ones. Let's run this and see how that's going to look like. Let's see. I need about 9 there anyway. That's it. Not bad. And this one, look at it. So I'm going to have to align those. Alright, so let's first of all, let's do one thing first. I'm going to say strictly make that west, west, and make all of them west. And this one is going to be west as well, west and west. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to copy this 5. I'm going to copy all of these and change it around. Come right down here, paste. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is 4. So this one is going to be 5, 5, 6, 7, and this is 8. I may have to change the gender around. Alright, let's see how it's going to look like. There we go. That's fine. So you see the gender. I need a gender there, so I'm going to change that to a ComboBox. So it's going to be the 4th one. We still need to change the details of this very one. I'm going to get rid of all of these. And I'm going to change this to gender. I'll repeat the same thing for the rest. Then we'll change the input around to a ComboBox. Paste and paste. And right underneath, I'm going to, let's say self dot. I think I should just make all of them self, really. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to make it all self. 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 I will have to repeat the same thing for all. Let's speed that up. Okay, right here, now I have them as self, so they are more or less more related to the root now. Okay, so let's say gender. So for the gender, I'm going to call that CBO gender, and this very gender, the widget that I'm going to be using will be, I'm going to call that ttk dot ComboBox, and that is the reason why I actually imported this library, because of that. So you need that library as well. So let's come right back down here. Now that is my ComboBox, and this ComboBox is going to also be inside here, inside display frame. Paste that in there. And what else do we want for it? We also want the width. I'm going to set the width to about, come right down, combo, okay, paste that here. That is the width. And the font, grab a font, paste it here. There's a font there. What else do I need? I'm going to need the states. What is it going to be? So let's just call it read only. Okay, states is going to be read only equals read only. Alright, that's the state of my ComboBox. Right. Now, I now need to specify what's going to be inside the ComboBox. So let's copy this. Combo. Paste it right there. And right inside the combo, we need to, I'm just going to enter two values. Values, okay, that is going to be, let's open up a bracket and let's enter space, add space. Now the next value is going to be female, comma, let's enter another one. The next one here, that will be male. There. So those are the values in there. And now I want the widget itself to display the very first content, and the very first content is empty, so we're just going to make that current equal 0. Paste that in there. Dot current value current equals 0. Put that 0 in a bracket. Now, all I then need to then specify is that is 5 by 5. Okay, copy that. The grid is going to be 5 by 1. Yeah, that should be 1. I'll close that up. Okay, so I'm going to get it indented and just, let's close this and then run it. I'm going to change this to, this is 29, this cannot be 29, that'll be 27. So let's get this indented. Can go to, let's go to format and just get it de-indented. Can do it individually or hold on to your control and tab there. Right, so that's my ComboBox. So I'm now going to run it and let's see how that's going to look like. There we go, look at that, guys. We can now select. Okay, and now let's take care of the subject area. This is the area I refer to as the subject area. These two. So I'm going to close that and just going to copy one of these. Let me call these student details first. I'll copy it first and just enter student details there. Right, now take it down and right underneath here we now enter the subject area. And I'm going to enter one for button and one more. Okay, let's get it indented properly, and this is going to be subject. This will be for guidance or parents and guidance, parent or guidance. And right underneath here. That's going to be for buttons. Okay, we also need maybe one up right underneath the button here. I'm gonna need one for function there. Functions will be here. Okay, it's just to make life easy for me. You don't have to do this. Right, functions. Now come right down here, subjects. Now the very first subject is going to be, let's say it's going to be English. So let me copy this, because I can easily take care of those. Copy this, everything here. Okay, and take it down, paste that in there, indent, and change this to English. Right. Just repeat the same thing for the rest. It's English, English as well, English. And we will also change the text name on the label there. So that's my very first subject. Now this very first subject is going to be inside the frame called subject frame 1. Let's look for it. Subject frame 1, this very one. You can see subject frame 1 is a child of subject frame left. So subject frame 1, change this, change that framework here, and change the ComboBox framework as well. There, maybe I should even put a space here so that you guys can see it. And this is going to be inside row 0, column 0. Why this one will be row 0, column 1. Okay, that's the very first one. Now let's change the width. The width of this, I'm going to make it about 19. There. And I think right here. Now on the drop down list, I'm going to change this one, the very first one. I'm going to make it a core unit. Okay, according to the syllabus you have to take 14 units, and among those 9 are compulsory. So those are the core unit. So we're going to say yes here, that you're taking that. Nope, it's not been taken. And finally we have complete, that unit is completed. So all 14 units must be passed. Complete. Okay, let's say completed. There. So I'm going to run it now. That's that. Let's try that again. Run. There. And that's my very first subject. Look at that. Core unit is the default one. Yes. Working on it. No. Haven't started. Completed. Right. So in total we have 7 units there. So all I'm just going to do is copy and come right down, paste. That's 2 now, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, get it indented properly. And we just need to now change the subjects around. There we go. There. So if you guys can still recall, the very first one is row 0. Okay, so the second one is going to be row 1. Row 1 here as well. Now row 2. And this is 2 as well. Okay. We have 3. Row number 3. Row 3. We have 4, and so on. that's the last one, 6 and 6. So let's run it, and you see that, you see what I'm talking about. There we go. Look at all the units. So all I just need to do now is to just change the names of each unit and maybe move this up a little bit. There's too much gaps here. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to change the name of the unit. The next unit after English, let's make that maybe games, computer games, right, and change this to games as well. So you can change your own to whatever you want. So this is games, games, games all the way there. I will now speed up the whole process now that you guys understand what I'm talking about. I've just changed that to games. Okay, let's assume games is not finished yet. And just put yes in there. Not started? No. Complete? Completed. And look at the background. You can see the color. So let's change that. Let me show you guys what to do with that there now. The background there is, let's see, there's no background here. Okay, we have to change this background to, let's say, BG equals, I'm going to make that Gamesboro. Then before speeding it all up, close. So that's the background for the very first one. So let's run it and you see what I'm talking about. There we go. So the background is now merged with this very background. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for the others. Let's just copy Gamesboro, copy and paste it in here. Let's straight onto the labels. Just the labels. So the whole background problem is now officially sorted. Save, press F5, run it. There. So I'm now going to just speed up the design of the subject area and get back to you guys. Okay, it's all taken care of. So I just need to take care of the second subject area, which is this area of it. So let's go in here. I'm just going to copy that. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, I'm going to copy it and just paste it on the second subject area. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Just copy one first. I'm going to call this subject first, and let's copy all of this. Copy, bring it down. Underneath here, that'll be second. Right. And we just need to change the frame to frame 2. And here 2 as well. Subject frame 2. And the very first subject I'm talking about, that is going to be data science. So let's enter data science in there. Let's give it a name. And change the name of every single component here. Copy and change that to data science. Right. Data science, yep. And we just run that and see how that looks like. Then we can take it from there. There we go. So I'm going to run that, and if it goes fine, we just copy and paste. There we go. That is fine. You guys, just for your information, you see the background? That is the design I want. I just want the background to trail around each of the frames. That is why I use the background there, and the same thing here as well. Okay, so I'm going to copy that and just speed things up. Come back here, copy, paste, and that's going to be for number 2. This is 1, so this one will be 0, 0, and 0. This one will be 1 and 1. So let's run it. Let's change the name around. There we go. So I'm going to speed that up and get back to you guys. And there we go, guys. I've finished with the subject area number 2. Have a good look at it. Okay, it's exactly the same lines of codes. All I'm just doing is just changing the names of the subject and relocate them to their rightful frame. That's all I've just done. There. Okay, so it's all the same with subject area 1. Okay, so that is fine. Now let's run it. There we go. It's coming up now. There, look at that. That's beautiful. Alright, so you see right here, let's take care of the parental details. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy one of these and just maybe even copy it all. So we'll just copy about 7 components in there. Let's go up there, copy 7 components right here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then I'll change things around, and that is called, let's see what's the name of that frame. That frame is called guidance frame. Okay, come right down here, paste that right in here, there, and it's called guidance frame. Okay, let's copy guidance frame there, come right down here and just change all of these to guidance frame. Yeah. Then I would have to kind of like realign it properly though. Right. Okay, that is it, all done, but I want this to be the first. But let me run it first and you guys see what I'm talking about. Run. There we go. So that will be the first one right up here. Oh, I left one out here. And I also need to change the back color. Alright. So let's speed that up anyway. I'm just going to copy this and put it right at the top. I'm just going to speed that up and get back to you guys. Okay, I finished with the parents or guidance frame, so you guys can take it from up there, and let's scroll down a little bit so that you can see the rest of the codes. It's all the same anyway. There. Okay, so I'm going to run it and let's see how that's going to look like. So have a good look at it, and you can also pause the video. Just copy it right. There we go. So let's run it. We have to save it first, and there we go. Look at that. Right here, mother is the default. Then we have dad and so on in the names. Okay, now let's add some buttons here. I think that is called buttons frame. So let's come right down here. Underneath here, we need to add button widget. So I'm going to say self dots btn add new. Maybe add new. Okay, that's cool. Add new equals button, and this very button is going to be inside buttons frame. Yeah, that's the name, buttons frame. I'm going to get it padded approximately 1 on the y-axis with a border of 4, and what is font. I'm going to make the font about 16, so let's copy this and paste it there. Change that to about 16. And what else do I need? Get it padded. Okay, that's y-axis. Alright, let me get it padded 24. Copy this and just change that to, and change it to x-axis. It's about 24. We can always change that anyway. Alright, what about the width? Comma, width. We can make that, let's go for 9. That should do. And the text on it, I'm going to change the text, enter the text as add new. Right. Okay, it's just, I think that will do. Close that and press enter. Now let's run that up. We can just maybe run it up, but there's not enough room. Just do that underneath here. Paste. Let's say dots grade equals row equals 0 column equals 0. Close that. Yeah, that should do. Oh, that will do. Okay, run it. Let's see. Okay, we have an error. What's the error? Oh, wrong spelling. It's right here. There should be an I. Now run. Let's see. There we go. Our first button is right there. Okay, that's fine. So let's copy this button we need in total. Total we need about 5. So I'm going to copy that. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's just change this. This is 0. This will be 1. And that's 2, 3, and 4. Run. Let's see before we change the details around. There we go. All my 5 buttons are in the house. That's fine. Close that. And let's come down here and just change all of this around. So this one, I'm going to make that exit. This will be reset. And this will be delete, update, and that's it. All I then need to do is just to change the name, give them an official name. BTN update, BTN delete. And BTN reset. There. Exit. And that is it for the buttons before we start adding our functions. So run that, and let's take care of the table itself using Treeview. There we go. So this part of it is ready. Now this area, we need to take care of that. That will be for the Treeview. And after that, we'll create our database. Then link that up. Hopefully we should be able to finish in about an hour 30 minutes. Oh yes, an hour 30 minutes. Else we'll be doing a very bad job. Okay, now we need to take care of the Treeview table. I have function here. Let's take care of the table. I'm going to copy this and maybe right underneath here, or maybe we should create. Okay, let's create a database first. Yeah, let's create a database. Alright, go to my SQL here, and right here I'm going to click on the schema there, and in there I'm just going to call it school DB. That's the name, school DB. That's the name of my table. Click on apply, and apply again. Click on finish, and right here that's my school DB. Drop this down. You see the table? Right click on the table and let's select create. Okay, the table is going to be called school DB as well, right there. And you see this arrow there? Okay, change the numbers of the number of display. Drop it down, and in here, my very first column there, I'm just going to call that STD IDs. That's student ID. Okay, STD ID. Okay, that's fine. Just make it my primary key and make it a unique number. And in here, I'm going to enter that first name. That is fine. I'm going to change this to, yeah, let's change it to virtual as well. I will enter about 20. 20 seems to be too much. Let's make that maximum 15. And in here, surname here. Next, it's going to be NI number, national insurance number, or you could call it ID. Some people call it ID in your country. Okay, that is address, and underneath address, let's enter gender. I'm now going to be entering all of the component of my system, or else that's going to take me forever. DOB, date of birth, and after that let's find means of communication, or means of communication. Let's use mobile, and we will also use emails. There we go, all done. In the case of email, let's make that about maybe 150 characters or 100 characters. No, that's too much to remember. 70, okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's it. I've only entered just 9 records there, so that will do. The program is too large. I won't be able to finish it all. Okay, then apply and apply. There. Finish. Okay, I can now minimize my database. I don't have any need for it anymore until I start entering my records. Okay, now let's come up here, copy this. We now need that for student records. Yeah, paste that right underneath here. And that will be student records. Alright. Now for my student records. Okay, let's start with, I'm going to first of all create my scroll bar. Okay, let's say scroll bar X. That will be on the X-axis equals scroll bar. So the component name is called scroll bar, and this very scroll bar is going to be right inside my frame known as record frame. That is it right there, records frame. Alright, and take it down. Now, orientation of this scroll bar, I'm going to make that horizontal because it's x-axis, so that should be horizontal. There. So let's create another one for the y-axis. Copy and paste, drop it there, and change this to y. So that's just the name. Okay, and this one is going to be vertical. Alright, so that's done. Now, the important part of it is for us to create our student record table. So I'm going to come down here. For the student record table, I'm going to use self.student let's say underscore record equals ttk dot Treeview, and it's going to be right inside record frames. There we go. Comma. I'm going to set a height for it. I can always adjust the height if there's any issue. Okay, make that about 13, and columns. The columns is going to be equals the content on my database. The first one is called, let's put that in a quote, comma. I have about 9 together, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 there. The first one is std id followed by first name, and I have surname, and I have NI number. Okay, I'm going to have to press enter here so that you guys can see the rest. Okay, so the next one, I'm going to make that should be address. Then we have gender. After gender, we have DOB, and mobile. After the mobile, we have email. There. Get rid of that. Okay, now let's just run things up. I'm going to say comma x, and that is going to be scroll command equals, let's say scroll x. I'm now linking my scroll bar to my tables. Now I need to do the same thing for y, so I'm going to say dot set here, comma, let's copy this and paste it right here. Let's change this to y, and this is y as well. There we go, underscore y. Now I now need x. Let's round up x, come right down here. Now we need to close this, close press enter, paste, and that's going to be dot park, and that is going to be side. That would be for the button. Park it at the bottom, comma, fill equals X. There, close that. And we need to repeat the same thing for the y-axis. Copy, paste, and change this to y, and this one is going to be y as well. There. Well, if I run it now, you guys won't be able to see much, though you will see like the shape of the table, but the shape of the tree view, but you won't see much. And the scroll bars, you see that's the x-axis and that's the y-axis scroll bar. Alright, let's close that. And now right underneath here, and I need to call every single one of my headings. This one, like this very one now. So let's go straight to my students records. This very one, copy that. Come right down here, paste. Maybe I should just add some space here. Okay. Now, the very first student record, I'm going to say dot heading, and my very first heading is going to be, undo that, the student ID, std ID. Paste that in there. Close that, comma, and the text that I want on it is going to be equals to student ID. That is the text I want on that. Close that. So I'm going to copy this. In total is now copy to 3 there. There. So I'll now change this around. Okay. The next one is first name. There. And let's do one thing. I'm going to copy all of this because I will need it to define the size as well. Paste that in there. Right, I have surname next. Surname here and surname here as well. This will be first name. So the text on it is the one in quotes, and we have NI number. Copy, and there we go. And this one is going to be NI number. Maybe it would be a good idea to actually copy this. Right. Now, the next one is address. Paste address here and address here. Gender, right there. Gender. Date of birth. Let's copy mobile. And date of birth, just enter DOB there. And this is gender or mobile. Okay, mobile here, DOB here, and right here is emails, and we have email here. There. So just tidy this up and change that to uppercase, G uppercase as well. I think that's that. This is going to be a waste. because what I need is right here. So copy all of this, copy, and come right down here, paste, and here I just need to define the size and so on. So but first of all, let's ask it to show the headings. Paste that in here. Student records, square bracket, show, and what I want you to show is equals heading. There, that should be lowercase. Let's change that to lowercase. Headings, and change this one to lowercase as well. Right, that's all that is done. The next thing, now I'm just going to specify my width. So the width for this is going to be about, let's go for about 70. Right, repeat the same thing for the rest and just change it around. Width, and width here. Emails, let's make that 150. I'm going to make mobile 100. We can always change that anyway. Date of birth 70, gender 70, and address 150. And what else? I'm going to make an I 100, surname 100, NI 70, and first name 100 as well. There. Okay, so let's run this up. So I'm going to just maybe copy this, come right down here, paste. I just want to run down. That's going to be park, and open up a bracket. Let's fill up the table on both sides. Enter both, yeah, and comma, expand, make that 1, close that. Alright, let's run this table and see what we've done so far. Have a good look at it. Yeah, so run. And there we go. Look at my table there. But here, look, this is a little bit of problem there. Okay, we take care of that. Alright, that's my error right there. I have both bottom. Okay, so that should be to the right, I believe. Let's see one more time. Yeah, okay, that's wrong. So let's come back in here and just change this to right. There we go. Now run. Okay, let's run it so that you guys can see it properly. Come back down here. Bring this up. Yeah, run. And there we go, guys. Look at it, well flashed to the frames. Now let's start work with the functions, but before I can do any of those, I'm going to have to declare some variables. So let's come right up here. I'm going to declare the variables right underneath the, okay, let's declare it right underneath the frames. Right. And the functions will be right underneath that. Let's come right down here, and this is going to become variables. Right. Now the very first variables that I'm going to take care of will be known as self. dot student ID. Okay, let's say student ID equals string. I do have a lot of those variables to be declared, so I'm going to have to maybe speed it up. Declaring the variable shouldn't be of any problems to you guys. The next one is going to be self dot first name. There, a string self dot surname. There, and self dot NI number. There. What else do we have? We have a lot anyway. Self dot, the next one I'm going to make that address. There. So I'm going to speed that up. Alright there guys, those are all the variables I need for now. If I think of all this now, since all these variables are declared, I'm going to create a function. The very first function that I'm going to deal with, let's create a function for reset. So I'm going to come in there, let's say reset, and I'm going to place that right inside self itself, enter column. So as for resets, I might as well copy every single one of my variables here. Copy that, and let's come right down here. Let's paste every one of those variables there. We'll get it indented, and that. Okay, and let's get this one in. De-indent this very one. Right, so this one is going to be dot set equals nothing. There. So it's easier for me. I'm just going to copy this and paste it right in here. Copy and paste. And not all of them is going to take this form. Some will be different. Right. There. However, for subject areas, variables like the subject area, I'm going to change that. Just give them, that will be core unit, because core unit is the default value. So I'm going to copy that and just change all of those to core unit. Then we can then select what we want. Core unit. And that is for every single subject. Should be 14 of those. Right. Okay, we have physics here. There. And as for parent, I can still record the core. The default value is mother. Right. And the rest is just clear. And that will take care of my reset. But for my reset to work, I have to be able to call every single function here inside each of those components. Right, that's reset taken care of. Now let's call this very reset inside the button. It's not going to do anything now. Let's go straight down and look for the button. Yeah, that's the button. And let's come in here, reset. Okay, maybe right here I'm going to say comma, command equals self dot reset. There. So that's the reset function taken care of. Now move it so that you guys can see it right there. Before I try out this reset, maybe we should create another one, and this one is going to be exit. For exit, let's come right down here and let's enter, let's call that function iExit. There. With function iExit, I'm going to enter as follows. Let's go for iExit equals, using the message box function, so tick enter dot, that should be message box dot, that should be, let's enter ask yes or no. There we go. And now this will take in two arguments. The first one, I'm going to make that the name of my system, and so the first one I can just call that school management system. That's the very first argument. The second one, I'll just say confirm. Confirm if you want to exit. There. Okay, and if that is yes, if iExit is less than 0, all I just need to say root dot destroy. And we can return. There. That's another function taken care of. Alright, let's call this function within the exit button exit. That is it right there. So I'm just going to come in here and call that. Let's copy all of these and paste. And that's going to be dot iExit. So two functions are out of the way. I think I should be able to get this very one to work now. This is not going to do much. So let's run it because there's nothing in there. Let's run this one. Oh, we have an error here. That's double bracket. Get rid of one. Alright. Let's see. We may have double here as well. No, we don't. Okay, let's run it again. What was the problem? Oops, look at that. And where will that be? Let's see, that should be inside address. Okay, let's search. Control F. Paste. Fine. Okay, look at it right here. Close that. It's right inside my exit. Let's make sure there isn't any more of that. Okay, let's. Oh, it's right inside my reset. So let's try it one more time. What is that now? Another one. Seems to be two of those. There's one here, and the variable. I think that might be all. Save, press F5 to run. There. Okay, we're missing out something here. Even exit is gone. Okay. I'm going to still be having problem with this. I think the only way out is I'm gonna have to move the function right down, okay, because it's telling me it has no attribute called reset. And if I decide to indent it, in fact it's gonna wipe out everything. This is what, let me just copy it all. I will indent it and you guys will see what I'm talking about. The indent actually. If I run it now, you won't see anything that I've done so far. There, you see that? So I'm gonna move the whole lot. So let's just cut it off. Cut and bring it right down underneath the button. Right here. And I'm gonna paste that right here. So all my functions will be there now. Let's see. Indent this. And let's make sure it's of the same parallel line with my main function up there. No, I think that would be the class. Yeah, okay, main function, right? Okay, let's run it now. Let's see. There we go. Now run. No, we don't want to exit. Reset. Yeah, that's fine. Supposing I enter anything in here, no, it's not gonna work because there's nothing in there yet. But if I change these ones, this should work for me. You should default back to core unit. Okay, it's not working yet. I'm going to find out why. Okay, I haven't actually attached the variables. Yeah, that's another big job to do. Now let's come right in here. You see, here are my variables. This very first one, I'm going to copy that. Let's go to the widget call. There we go. That's the widget. Okay, in here I'm going to enter comma, and that will be text variable equals that. Okay, that's my very first one. Okay, it's actually in the wrong place. It's meant to be in the text box. Cut that off and place and just paste it right here. Yeah, on the text entry. Right. Now the next one is first name. Paste that very one in there. Let's copy all of this. And first name. And that is called first name as well. Anyway, copy, paste. Followed by surname. Surname, address, just paste it there, then we change it around. This one, what is this one called? Gender, that's gender. Okay, let's come right here. Yeah, that's fine. Paste, and this one is gonna be called, and this one mobile phone. Paste, then followed by email. Okay, email is going to be email, and here we have mobile dot mobile. Then we have DOB. Is it lowercase or uppercase? That's uppercase, really. DOB. And this one is not. Yeah, they all have uppercase. Okay, now this is gender. There. Now let's come in here, address, copy, paste. NI number, paste. Then we have surname. Okay, so I'm going to try out this very first one and see how that works. Hey, let's run that. Save and run. So I will just enter whatever in there just to make sure it works. And select something here. Okay, reset. Right, that is working. Now let's take care of this. I think this is taken care of already. No, it's not. Okay, let's take care of the rest. So all of that is done. So let's go to the subject area. With the subject area, let's copy this first. English. Okay, so come right here and paste. Then English will be English. Right. After English we have games. That's English, so come right down here, that's games. Paste. And let's just change that to games. Now we have animation. Paste. Animation. Then database. Paste. Okay, so I may have to speed this up. That's mass. Add mass. Oh, right here. And finally here we have physics, and that will be for the very first subjects. Okay, let's run this and see how the very first subject is going to look like. I'm going to change all of these. Let's change them away from the core unit. And I want it all to default back to core. And reset. There we go. That's fine. So let's repeat the same thing here. So I need subjects number 2. Subject 2. Okay, paste. And change. Now let's paste all of this first before we start changing. Paste. Paste. Okay, let's come in here. Text variable here as well, and text variable here as well. There's not going to be enough room here, so I may have to do something. Paste. Let's press enter so that you guys can see it, else you won't see what we're working on. The next one is information technology. There's a lot of text in there. Copy. Whoa, undo that. Undo. Information tech. So copy that and paste information tech there. So I decided to name it according to the name of my components. That makes life easy for me. So you guys can do the same thing. All you just need to do is maybe just copy and paste. Alright, so the next one here, where is that? That is it here. Paste. That's going to be spreadsheet. There. Object oriented. There. After object oriented, we have event driven program. Event driven. Paste that in here. And here we have data science. There we go. Okay, let's try that out as well. Run. Just change this to something different entirely. Okay. Now reset. There we go, that's fine. Now let's take care of these ones. I think I have a name for them. There's PG right in front of each of them. Okay, right, let's come right down here. That's first name. Okay, let's go back down and look for parent guardian. There we go. The very next, this one is taken care of. No, it's not taken care of. This is going to be comma text variable equals there. Press enter. So that's for the very first one. And the next one, let's copy this. And that is going to be for parental guidance here. So for the parental guidance, I'm going to say comma, press enter, paste, and parent guardian. Paste that there. I think there's a variable called parent guardian. Let's see. Parent guardian. Good. Now we need, let's take care of the rest. There. Let's just copy this. Copy the text variable. Come right down here. Comma. Enter. I will change that around. Comma. Paste. And one more here. Here. Comma and paste. Comma. Paste. Comma. Paste. And this is going to be PG email. PG email. And this is going to be PG mobile. And we have txt work phone. PG, does that have PG? Let's check out txt work phone. Yes, it does. It does have a PG. The PG, I'm using that as the parent guidance. Okay, let's come right back here and just finish up. Parent guidance. PG, where is it? Phone, yeah. Address, PG address. PG surname. Now we have first name. There, that's done. Okay, I'm going to run that. Let's see how that's going to look like. Okay, I think I have an error. TXT, no, it's not expected there. Right, get rid of that. That's it. Now run it again. Let's hope. Okay, it's fine. So enter whatever in there and see if it's gonna work. There, that's fine. And let's change this as well. That's very good. So reset function all taken care of. Now let's take care of add, delete, and update. add, update, delete. So those ones. So underneath here we have more function. So I'm going to say update. I'm going to take care of update first. So with the update, I should be able to enter my add every single information straight into or onto the database. So I'm going to call that. No, let's go back here, push it up, and that's going to be add student. I'm going to call that underscore add student, and that's going to be right inside self as well. Now the very first one, what I'm going to do is, if any of those, let's assume the student ID, if it's empty, there's nothing in there, I want a message, and we also need names. Okay, so let's go for if self.student ID dot get. If there's nothing in there, or we don't have a name, if we don't have a name for the candidate, let's say first name, the first name is missing, dot get. And what about if we don't have the surname as well? We need a surname. Let's just copy this, paste that there. If we don't have that of surname, and enter semicolon here, change this to surname. So these three must not be empty. Okay, if we don't have any of those, I want a message box. So I'm just gonna say message box, or I can just maybe copy it right here, copy all of this. Let's come and paste that in there. I want my message box too. Okay, let it just be enter. We just need to say enter. Let's say enter correct student details. Yeah, that's fine, that's alright. Okay, alright, that's fine. And let's change an error here, change that to lowercase. Alright, that is fine. So if you don't enter anything in here, this message will pop up, else this was going to happen. We don't want the whole system to display as follows. Okay, now here comes the database one. So I'm going to call that connect, or I'm just, let's say SQL connect equals pi MySQL dot connect. Now host is going to be localhost, because the server is inside my own system, so that's why it's localhost. Right, that's the host, comma. The next one, the root, our user is going to be the root, comma. Password, my password is going to be CK YC. That's my password, comma, and the database name. That's very important, so you must remember that. If you guys can still recall the database that I created, that was known as SchoolDB. That's it there. Copy that and just paste that database in there. SchoolDB. Paste. Okay. Close that. Now, and I want to use cursor. So for the cursor, we can just say declare a local variable called cursor equals SQL connect dot cursor, enter parentheses. Now call or cursor dot, we would like it to execute. There. And for you to execute, we want you to insert the following into the school database, the following values, and those values are, let's just give it an example value. I need 9 of those because I have 9. I have now recorded it all as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There. Close that. There's comma there. Then we now want to say self dot student ID dot get comma, and I just need to specify the rest of my data. The next one is going to be self dot first name. Press enter. Go right here. Save the first name. Then I have surname. Well, maybe just leave it right underneath there. Okay. Press enter and see. Yeah. And the next one will be surname. There. And after surname, I have NI number. What else do I have? Address. Enter my address there. And we have gender. We have date of birth. DOB. Then mobile. All of these are my variables that I'm calling though, so don't get it wrong. Now we have email, and that's it. So we'll have to close that. Right. Now I need this. Copy that. Paste dot comments, and we also need to close. Paste dot close. Alright, and I can even add a message box saying it's successful. Come right down here and just say record entered successfully. Okay, let's say record entered successfully. Alright, that'll do. And we can just enter a title there. Oops, do that. And that will be SMS, Student Management System. Okay, so that is taken care of. Now, okay, I'm going to call this inside my add button. Let's look for the add button here. So there we go, that's it, add button. And right here we can just say command. Let's move this in a little bit. Command equals self.add. Let's see, there's not enough room. Let's press enter. There. Okay, let me just see if it's going to work though. I'm going to run it. So let's enter student ID. Let's say ST. That's my student ID there, and the name is Tony. Tony Montana. Let's get Montana here. NI number of Montana, NI. Address number 17, Little Venice. London. And it's male. And in here, date of birth, telephone number, and email address. That will be Tony at, let's say, gmail.com. Right, now let's see if that is gonna work. Okay, it's not working. Let's see what's the error. Password. Alright, let's get the password sorted. Close that. And the password, let's go back in there. Okay, I think that's a lowercase. Right, very sensitive. Let's run it one more time. There, and let's make this up again. And the name is Tony, and that's Montana. Okay. NI. Address number 17, Little Venice. And we have male, date of birth, say 1504. There. Mobile number, and email address is Tony at gmail.com. Right, decision time. Whoa, we have another error. Execute. Okay. Look at the spelling of execute. Should be an E there. Alright, let's change that. Close that. Execute. Alright, there should be an E here. Sorry. Okay. Hopefully that will be the error taken care of. So let's try it one more time. Okay. And maybe I should even change this one to .show error as well. Then we can run it. Okay, let's run it again. .show error. Yep. Run. And let's try that again. Tony Montana. Address 17. Little Venice, London. Mail. Date of birth 17/04 and there. Mobile number. Castoni@gmail.com. Try that out. Yeah, successful. Okay, that's good. It's successful, but it's not displayed here. That's fine. Right. Okay, that's fine. And there's no error, so that's good. So let's go inside my database and right in there, come in here and refresh the whole lot. Let's come in here and just, okay, let's go back to school and open it up. Tony Montana should be there. That is Tony Montana. Look at it. So the SQL now is working. I'm going to minimize that, exit out, and let's continue. Okay, for me to be able to view the data that I have inside my SQL here, this is the data. Minimize that. Okay, I'm going to write a function right underneath here. I'm just going to call that function a simple name. Let's call it view data. And view data itself, what I want the view data to do, I'm just going to copy this here up to here. Right, copy that. We'll change that anyway and paste it right in here. In this case, I want it to select. So select instead of insert, that will be select from. We'll select all from. That is school DB, is the very one. Select from school DB and close that. There. Now I'm going to now enter, let's say rows equals cursor dot fetcher, so which means fetch the data. Okay, enter parentheses, and if len roll equals 0 or not equals to 0, then that means we have something. Then we say student dots delete, self dot delete student records. Right. Students underscore records dot delete, and that will be all self dot student records. Let's copy that, paste that here. Dot get underscore, make that a child. There we go. And we then use a for loop for, let's say, roll in rows, except the student we want you to insert. Copy, come right down here, paste. I will want you to insert dot insert up to the end, comma, and comma values equals rows, and we say SQL con dot comments and SQL counts dot close dot close. There, and that's all. So we should be able to call this. I'm going to call this inside here. Let's go up here, let's call it here, right inside the function add student details. Call that in there. Okay, that's meant to be self, really. There, and we also need to call it right here. I'm going to copy that, call it right underneath the table itself. Go right up here, the table should be somewhere here. There we go, that's the table. Come right down, paste. Okay, I think that should do it. So I'm going to run it and let's see, run. And there we go, guys. Those are the data that I have on my database. So let me show it to you again. Tony Montana's data right here. Okay, so that's fine. I didn't include any of the subjects and so on. You guys know what to do now. You can always include that if you want. I'm just going to leave it as that of just the student details alone. So one other thing I want to be able to do is, now this is working, but these two are not doing anything yet. I want to be able to edit or delete whatever data I don't want, and I also want to be able to click and add all the details here so that I can edit. So I'm going to end it, and let's go straight to our function again. And right underneath here, let's declare this function. I want to call it learner info or learners info. Let's say info, yeah, and let's say comma evaluate there. Now I'm going to declare a local variable. I call that view info, and this view info equals self.student records. I want you to get focus on that. Copy, paste, dot focus. Alright, so let's declare another local variable, learner data, or yeah, let's call it learner data. Learner data the case of learner data, I'm going to say equals self.record.item that is going to be view info. Okay, the whole idea is for us to be able to click on any record on the table and display it on each of the component or on each of the widgets. So I'm going to say row equals learner data, and the learner data is going to be value. There we go. And now let's enter the learner data in there. The very first one is the student ID. Okay, let's copy this student ID. Okay, I'm going to copy this. Let's just copy all of this and paste it there. Here, copy and paste it right here. There we go. And change this around. So the first one is going to be row. So just making sure that row is there, and the second one and so on. Copy and just change all of this around. We are almost there now, guys. Yeah. Okay, this is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There. And that's all there is to that. I'll now call this very learner info right up there. So copy this. We have to call it inside the table itself. So take it up there and let's get it bind right here. There. Okay, that's the name of. I'm just going to paste the name in there so that I don't forget. So now I need to call student record.bind. Copy, paste, dot bind. Open up a bracket, and right inside the bracket is going to be space mark. When the button is clicked, release. Button release. And what do you want me to release? That is -1. Release the following. Okay, let's enter greater than and equals to there. Greater than and less than. Okay, what we want you to release is going to be whatever information we have in here. Cut that off, and that is going to be self dot learner info. There. I'm now going to run that. Let's have a go at it and see how that works. Let's make sure there's no error though. Run. Click on OK. So let's see now. Right, and click on the data we have in here. There we go. It's working the way I want. That's fine. So we can even add another data in there. So let's come in there and just change this around. And the name is going to be Paul. Let's come in here, enter open, and change that. And address of Paul is #1 Ghost Town, London. Mail, change that to mobile number 07 whatever, and you can add that as well. There, look at that, successful. Okay, just two other things left now. We need to be able to update and delete. So we're gonna have to speed up the update and delete because of time. We're running out of time. So let's exit out. Okay guys, I just had to speed up the whole process because of time. In fact, I have run out of time already. Okay, that's for the updates. Okay, and right underneath there are the codes for delete. So have a good look at them. Right here, the update, you might not be able to see the rest of the code. Let me just press enter there so that you can see it. That's the rest of the code. Okay, let's go back there so that you can see it drop. That's it. Or I'm just going to kind of like reduce the font a little bit so that you guys can see that. We'll give it 10. Alright, that's all of the code. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too small. Let's see if we can increase it a bit more to 11. Alright, let's apply. Okay, 11 seems a little bit much better. So that's updates, the lines of code for update. The only thing that is might be strange to you guys, I don't think anything is strange in there apart from, even this is not strange, that's where I call my database. Okay, I've added it straight, I've added a cursor into it, and here this is the only strange bit for those who are not used to MySQL. But that's the SQL statement to update. Update from student, from school ID, the following names or the following columns. Okay, names, surnames, NI number, address, gender, date of birth, mobile number, email, where your ID, your student ID is. That. Okay, with the question mark there, # S for student, and that is the where we're going to get all of those information from. And the next thing is we have to comment it. Okay, commit it, and we also have to close it, and we get this display data. You see this reset, I may not have to use this reset. I'm just going to comment that out for now. Let the reset do its own thing. And inside delete, when I delete, I want it to reset as well. Maybe the reset should do its own thing as well. Well, it's left to you guys. You can leave the reset back on, and that's it. Okay, take a good look at the reset, and there. So let's run the whole program and just see. We take it from there. So we'll go to run. All right, there, guys. You can select. Now let's create a duplicate to check if the delete works. Just enter some value in there. And I'm going to add, and that means we have duplicated poll in there. Let's delete. Okay, that's now working. Okay, so let's see. Oh, it is working. It is working because I have to refresh. It is working. The other problem, the problem is I haven't actually added this onto my buttons. So let's end it. Let's come right here to the buttons. So right here I was meant to call the very command, so that is supposed to be self.delete. Copy that and paste it right in here. Okay, command equals self.delete. Delete db. I call that Okay, that is for the, as for that, I think it's uppercase though. Yeah. Now the other one is update. Enter a comma there, paste, and update is going to be, I think I just call it update. Update, that will be self dot updates. Right, there should be a dot here as well. Okay, let's hope that's it. That is there, this is there, and it's all there. Command for add, command for update, delete, reset, and exit. So let's run it. Okay, we have an error. What was that? It has no self. Okay, let's see. Oh, double self. Let's go back in there. Where is it? There we go. Delete that. Come on. Run again. And there we go. Select poll. We have double poll. Delete. Yes, it's working. Okay, let's say we want to update. Let's try and update Tony's details. I'm going to update his NI. Right, and update his date of birth, make him a younger guy. There. And telephone number. Okay, and that's it. Update. There we go. Date of birth, telephone number, and NI all updated. That is fine, guys. It's working, and you guys can do whatever you like with these. This will be your own homework. Get that done. Just add this straight onto your database and call it there. So with that, guys, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoy it. So this is for Daddy Montana. So please do subscribe to my channel, and you can also join to become a member of the channel. Okay, there's a lot of benefit for you guys if you're a member of the channel. And here, let's just update that as well. Updates. Various. Telephone number, let's make that the same. Okay, guys, I'm just going to call it the end of this tutorial. So you all have a nice day now, and bye for now. Bye.